here, Honey and Wine, and talking about my experience in my first band. My first band was after I joined the Air Force, and I met some musicians. Jason Graves was probably the biggest influence. I've mentioned him before on guitar, and Terry Bailey was a bass player, and Joe Amador was a guitarist, and Dave DeShane was a guy. He was not in the service, but an incredible drummer. And we got going playing heavy metal with the band AKA. Stands for also known as. The reason we named it AKA is we couldn't come up with the name. So we just went with AKA. And played mainly like pool parties, house parties, birthday parties, stuff like that. Probably my biggest memory of that was playing South Carolina is where we were at, and I can't remember what the event was, but I remember it being so hot and sweating to death, and I'd go stand in front of the bass amp that had this big scoop on it, and every time he'd play, it'd blast out this air, and I'd stand in front of that to cool off. And then after I got out of the service, kind of walked away from music for a while because it just spent some time focusing on family, and then kind of had a come to Jesus time, a return to faith, and met a guy, Larry Balmer. I've mentioned him before. He gave me a guitar. Well, he asked me to be on a praise team, played on a praise team with him, and then we formed a band with a couple guys, Larry Balmer, Granger Lofton, and myself. Granger played drums. Larry was on the guitar and bass. And then I played guitar. And we called that Project 1516.